Hi, my name is Katie Skilton. I'm a creative designer at Sizzix. Today I'm going to be showing you how to add dimension to your cards using Thinlits. Now when we use big styles it's easy to get dimension because we can use mountboard. Obviously with Thinlits you're going to need a card and paper. So you can still add dimension to them just by cutting several layers and attach them all together. So today I've used this hand charm and you can see here there's the dimension on the card from joining them together. And on this one we've added the dimension to the alphabet. So it's a really good way just to add dimension if the die you're using is a Thinlit. So what we're going to do, we're going to start by die cutting the hand. So I've die cut several here. Now you can see here these are 3 die cut out of 300 GSM cardstock, and I've then joined them together. So you've got a nice thick die cut there. But what I'm going to do, I want to add a coloured one onto the top of it. So we are going to just add some ink to some cardstock first of all. So we're going to add some distress ink. So I'm just taking, actually I've got some paper down here. So I'm just going to start by adding some colour. So we're just going to really add lots of ink to this piece of cardstock. So again, this is just plain white cardstock and the colour is going to come from the distress ink. Lots of blending just to get a nice smooth colour. And this one I'm using here is the Tattered Rose. It's a lovely subtle kind of pinky colour. So just keep adding this to the cardstock. So when you're blending, hold the blending tool rather than holding the handle. If you hold it at the base, you tend to get a smoother finish. You've got more control over the blending tool. Just a little bit more. We are going to spritz this anyway, so when you spritz it with water, it tends to give it a lovely speckled look and it blends lovely. Almost done. Just go over any areas that I think are missing a little bit. So that's the now. So I'm just going to literally spritz it with some water, and that's going to give it this lovely effect. And I'm also going to just add some, just get some ink out, some sparkle to it, just by using a kind of sparkle pen. You can just add some glitter to it. Just need to get the ink out. So let's just add some splashes of that. So we'll just quickly give that a dry with a heat tool because we're going to die cut it, so we just want to make sure it's dry. We'll pop this one through the machine. So let's take our hand die here and place it onto there. It's easier to ink the card now than die cut it and then add ink, getting a nice smoother finish, because you're not going over all the little intricate detail that's in the die cut. So we use the pokey tool. This has got obviously quite an intricate die, so we need to get all the little bits out. Just start removing those now. So we're just going to poke this out of here. There, we'll remove that. There we go. We'll just remove those last little bits there. Nearly there. I think that's done. So what we're going to use, we're going to use a fine nozzle on your glue. I'm just going to try and remove those because I don't want others sticking. So as I say, these, I've already stuck 3 of these together. I've die cut them from white and they've just been already stuck together. So using the fine nozzle of the glue, you're just going to add the glue into all the detail here, getting as much as you can, because obviously we want it all to be able to stick down in a moment. On there. Just pick up any sections where you think it's big enough to pop the glue. It's not all going to come at the side. There we go. So now we're going to layer this onto here. So we're going to make this so it's precisely stuck down. There we go. So you can see now, straight. You've now got this lovely embellishment here, this hand embellishment. So what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to pop it onto a card. So what I've done, I've already stamped some images onto a card blank, and we're just going to attach that on. So again, lots of glue in the spaces where you can fit them. Excuse the noise, it is half-term here and I am working from home. So if you hear someone shouting in the background, that would be Noah. So we'll make sure we go around the edges as well. And we'll pop this one on. Oh! So we'll just pop that one on there into the design. And we can just let that one dry while we do the rest. So what I've done now, I've die cut some letters. So this is using the pop art alphabet. And again, I've done exactly the same thing. I've added dimension by sticking them together. I'm actually going to look at this in another card in a minute, but this is using black card. Now to give them a really shiny look, you can add embossing powder and heat emboss them. So let's get some paper again. So we're going to get our clear embossing pad, and we are going to really pop these letters in so that they are covered. I'm going to do that with each of them. And we'll sprinkle some embossing, clear embossing ink over these. Nice shine. So let's remove them from the powder and just take off the excess powder. Place that one on there like so. So let's take the heat tool. Just grab the poking tool to keep them in place. There we go. Just until all that embossing powder is melted to give it a nice shine. You can see there where the powder turns in, it gives it that lovely shiny effect. There we go. So obviously these are going to be hot, so just give them time to cool off before you pick up each letter. Pop those to the side. So what we're going to do, we're going to pop this back into here. And then we can add on our letters. So I'm going to pop these onto the hand here. So again, I'm using a thin nozzle glue. Just unblock it. I'll add these onto the hand. And they almost look like embellishments rather than die cuts. It actually looks like almost resin embellishments. Obviously you could do this with any die cut, it doesn't only have to be letters. So any shapes you want to give that kind of resin look to, just use the clear embossing powder. Whoop. So that's the word, and then I've just got a little stamped sentiment here, so I'm just going to add some ink around the edges of that, and then we'll add that one on as well. Now, if you want to add some embellishments to it, and you've got some pearls here, so I've got some pearls here. Now, I wanted them in a colour that I haven't got, I've only got the plain ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my permanent marker, Sizzix permanent marker, and we're just going to colour some of the pearls. So I'm just going to add some black pen to those, and I'm going to just, it didn't take very long, I'm just going to leave them to dry for a second. And then while we're getting on with the other stuff, these will be dry, and then I've got nice little black ones to embellish the card with. So really good, permanent pens, the Sizzix ones are really good for adding colour to your gems. It just totally changes it. So if I pick those up so you can see them now, because obviously we're off the mat. So we'll just set those aside and let them dry for a second. Now, the other card I was making, I was using the 3D, but I was putting it in letter form. So this time we're going to die cut the hand, so we're just going to use a single hand. So I've done exactly the same as I did before. So I've added the ink to the cardstock using exactly the same colour, and spritz it with water, and it's dried. And then I'm just going to die cut one of the hands now, because the depth this time is going to be in the alphabet rather than on the hand charm. Let's just remove all the little pieces. Always remove the pieces every time you go to die cut, because obviously otherwise they get stuck in there and it won't cut as well because it's got so much cardstock in. So it is quite important that you just spend your time getting all these little bits out. Nope, still got more. Hand. And again, I've got a card that I've already pre-stamped, so we're going to pop it onto that when it's all out the die. See how much we can get out without. There we go. So we'll just give it a flick as well. Let's just get those last bits out. There we go. So we'll attach this onto a card. So this time it's got a slightly different stamp on it, and we're just going to stick the hand on there. So again, really thin glue. Go all the way around the die cut. You can get it all right around the edge, and then just some of the parts in the centre, just where you think there's enough room to add the glue. So we'll pop the hand down here this time. So I can just see a little bit of left in there, so we'll get rid of that now. So I've pre-die cut some of the letters. So what I've done, I've cut 3 of each letter. Every letter I need, you need 3 of. And you can see then that that gives it that dimension. So what we're going to do, we're just going to add some ink to them. So I'm literally going to dip it in my grey ink pad. It doesn't matter if it covers it completely, because I kind of want a rusticy, weathered look anyway. I'm just going to use the ink pad. Pop those on. There we go. So now we're going to add those onto our card. It really stands out. It makes such a difference having that dimension of the letters. If you stuck them on flat, they wouldn't stand out anywhere near as much as they stand out when you stuck a few together at once. It kind of draws your eye into it. There we go. So that's added that on there. And then I've just got a little sentiment here that we can add on. So I haven't got any scissors, bear with me. Let's snip those. And we'll just add on this little sentiment. There we go. Now remember earlier I actually coloured in these little embellishments, didn't I? So we'll bring this one back, and then we've got our little embellishments here now that we can add on to our card. There we go. So really good way for just adding your embellishments. Obviously the pens come in a variety of colours, so actually I've got a red one here. So depending on what colour you want your gems, you can have all different sorts of colours there. You can pre-colour those if you want, so that you've got them and they're dry ready, or you can just do them as you go, so you know what ones you want. So that's basically it for today. As I say, it's a really good way for just adding dimension to your cards and just giving it that kind of interest point. So any questions, let me know. Obviously we've got lots of inspiration and lots of ideas on our social media pages, so remember to check out our blog, which regularly gets posted to, Instagram, Facebook. Share your projects with us, and I shall see you again next week. Bye.